Taking days off from training is absolutely essential for any type of long-term progress. Hey everybody, I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. And this comes up a lot. This is one of the things that I really don't like, that I see so many influencers pushing like 6-day push-pull legs. To me, that's absolutely insane. To have anyone lift 6 days a week who is not a professional bodybuilder, who makes their living at bodybuilding and has a perfect lifestyle, is just absolutely ludicrous, and it's not even beneficial. You're probably gaining less muscle for it. So when it comes to a lot of training frequencies, and I'm speaking as someone who has run the gamut of all of these, someone who has coached people a long time with different frequencies, I can honestly say, beyond a shadow of a doubt, 90% of people will probably never at any point in their life benefit from training more than 3 to 4 days a week. Okay? That's it. I'm going to call it flat out. And anything you are doing beyond that is probably doing nothing for your physique, nothing for your performance, and in some cases might actually be slowing it down a little bit, just due to the overtraining, lack of recovery, higher risk of injury. Now the injury risk is a big deal. That's one that people don't think about. They absolutely don't think about. The more frequently you train and the higher your weekly training volumes go, the higher your injury rates go. Right? This is understood. It's known because overuse is the number one cause of injuries in the weight room. Lack of downtime. This is another reason I've even gone over to more body part split type training, so that I have tendons that get a full week of rest between training. And none of my clients, other than some of my extreme novices who are rebuilding from scratch, do more than a muscle group more than twice a week. I personally do everything once. Okay, because the data has shown more and more, that old data we had on muscle protein synthesis and frequency, it's not even actually true. People gain maximum muscle in many studies just fine once a week. Many people have become massive bodybuilders with once a week body part training. Now, I personally have met people who train 3 days a week. In my course of my life, some of the most jacked and strong people I've ever met only train 3 days a week. I personally do 5, but I have my own reasons for that. 3 days a week can produce like bodybuilding quality physiques. I have seen people who look just as good as the guys winning shows in the NPC, who don't even compete, who train 3 days a week. I have observed it in my lifetime and watched them train. I have met guys who squat 700 and 800 pounds, deadlift 800 plus, bench 500 plus, who work out 3 days a week. That's it. That's all they do. Right? That's it. So when we talk about these lower frequencies, people need to understand they actually can work. And I have clients, because of their lifestyles and careers, who only train 3 days a week, who compete in powerlifting or who are really jacked and so on. A lot of mine do 4. So also when it comes to even 5, I don't put anyone on 5 days a week unless they're an advanced lifter. Right? If you are an advanced lifter chasing a very extreme physique and you are willing to eat appropriately, sleep appropriately year-round, do things like avoid alcohol. Like, I would never put anyone who drinks alcohol casually on a 5-day-a-week program. Why? Why would you do that? They're not going to fully recover. They're using some of their recovery resources going out drinking once a week. I would never have them train 5 days a week. I would cut them off at 4. Because, again, they don't have ideal recovery. They're choosing a compromise. So those are examples of what I mean. People who sleep only 6 or 7 hours a night, there's no way I put them on a 5-day-a-week program. It's completely pointless. Okay? It's completely pointless. People whose diets aren't dialed in really well in terms of getting everything they need perfect, enough fruits and vegetables, really high protein, I'm never going to have them train more than 3 or 4 days a week. Why? Because it's completely pointless. It is a waste of time. They will not gain one single drop of muscle extra from doing it. Nothing. 5 day a week is for people who have stuff pretty dialed in, and I've never given a client 6 day a week of training. I would again reserve that for a professional bodybuilder, a non-natural bodybuilder, mind you, who is their entire career is based upon them being as absolutely jacked as possible, and they don't have a normal 9-to-5 job. That's it. It's the only people who I would put on 6-day. And I think that that's perfectly reasonable. You need the downtime. You need the recovery. You need the rest. And so when I talk about optimizing recovery, that we do not grow from the training we do in the gym. We grow from the training that we recover from. And if your frequencies and volumes per week exceed your recovery, you're not growing from it. It's junk volume. And we could make the case in some cases of it might actually be costing you. Because if you're under recovered all the time, you are not optimizing your muscle growth. You're not optimizing your gains. You're not optimizing your strength. So this becomes a problem. And particularly, so people say, well, okay, well, what if I'm not losing anything? It's just an insurance policy, but it really isn't. All you're doing is eating into your recovery and increasing your injury risk. You're also increasing your risk of mental burnout. And I get this. I have a client recently who, he came to me fairly recently, put him on a 4-day split. And he's like, man, I am making the best gains ever. Can we train every day? And I'm like, no, absolutely not. Like, I'll take you to a 5-day split eventually because you have really, really serious goals and you're willing to optimize, but you're not even ready for that. You're not even advanced enough to benefit from a 5-day, let alone trying to do 7 days a week. Okay? It compromises your results. All it does is beat your body up. All it does is beat your body up. Again, rest days are critical. And no, we shouldn't have to be pushing so hard that we deload. If you're having to deload all the time, and this is an epiphany I came to with coaching over time, and I agree with some other coaches on, someone who used to push people hard, then deloads, it doesn't produce any better results than just staying recovered. We shouldn't need to overreach to the point where we do deloads. Deloads should be done because we miss something, right? We didn't have something dialed in. You are not recovering from the training that we are doing. That is why deloads are necessary. You've got injuries that are starting to come up, inflammation problems that are starting to arise. You're getting symptoms of overtraining, so we deload. But it's not something that we should be doing, and let's push to the point where we can deload and then deload. The overall data shows you actually make less total gains per year if you're having to take numerous deloads. Okay, so we should actually be focusing on the training we can recover from. And if a lifter can recover from 5 days a week, then fine. But if they're not recovering from it, it is asinine to do it. And then again, when you start talking about giving general population lifters 6-day-a-week training, it's completely asinine. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.